last call, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the Pimp Slap P.O.D., Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike, money's killers, Mike even make the even news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome in. Let's go. It's last call. Time to get rocking and rolling here. It is Wednesday, February 28th. And one more day is this month of February here. It's that leap year that everybody keeps talking about. But we're going to try to keep closing this thing out. It's running strong here. We've had ourselves another positive night there. Nothing glorious, but a little 6-4 night to keep things moving in the right direction. And speaking of the right direction, it's Wednesday. You know that means we bring in our resident to last call. It's Houston's finest, LJ from the H, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun breaking down the NBA with my guy, LJ. And, of course, we got T on the ones and twos, holding it down, getting it tight and right for everybody. If you're just getting in here, getting out of work, trying to figure out what you're going to do for dinner, grab yourselves a cocktail, and let's get ready to figure out what plays we're going to smash here tonight across the sports landscape. Small NHL card only means big winners. You guys already know how we do in the NHL. There's 2 games tonight. We got to play on each of those games. We've got ourselves a nice little college basketball slate, a couple of plays out there, and then the NBA coming through with us. I think there's 6 games in the NBA tonight as well. So plenty action to try to get that cash. I'm excited about this card. Again, last night, nice little night across the board there, and want to run it back and keep stacking here. You know, we grind. It's a daily grind here. It's not like we just hit that gold mine, and if it was easy, everybody else would do it. But we manage bankrolls. We keep ourselves in the game, and we live to fight another day. So while we're stacking away and continuing to build the roll, we want to certainly give some opportunities to go for those bangers. And I think tonight we do have a spot that definitely meets that criteria. So back at home, back in the studio, back scrubbing lines all day here. Small card means we get deep and trying to find that cash. So I'm excited about all you guys joining us tonight here. Hit that thumbs up if you're just rocking in. In fact, you know the deal. We ask for 3 things when you're coming here to watch Last Call on Pub Sports Radio here. First and foremost is hit that thumbs up button. Help us crack the code that is the 6 p.m. window. Everyone's trying to do this now here. They're trying to look at line movement. They're trying to analyze fading the public and this and that and the other thing, but nobody puts together the analytics, the trends, the cash flow, and all the moves you need together better than what we're doing here with Last Call. You're going to want to make sure that you get a pen and paper. You're going to want to write down not just what I share, but our panel, of course, T, LJ, and then the chat, man. The chat sharper and sharper by the day. And when they put it out there, you're going to want to listen. You're going to want to write it down so that you can take advantage of those throughout the night. And, of course, last but not least, share those plays out there in the chat. We want to recognize your guys' hard work as well. We're all doing this thing together. We're all trying to get that cash from the bookies' pockets and put it in our own. So let's take advantage here. Let's all work together as one, and let's continue to build this community by cashing tickets and sharing positive vibes. It's going to be a great night tonight. I am excited to fire away. And I see you guys are already in here rocking and rolling. So let's roll here. I see a bunch of new members here. We got Rude Boy. We got Kadesh Dean. We got Ken in the house ready to rock. Of course, you guys know what that means here. Members of the horse races that we're doing here, the virtual races on Tuesdays and Fridays over there with Jimmy the Bag, 11 Eastern. Do not have to be present to win. Just got to be a gold member. Of course, it's going to get you offers and additions to member exclusives, like what we did this year here with that Circa contest entry for the NFL. Members only got to vote. Best top selections made the card. Card gets its way over to Circa, and we see how this Pub Sports Radio community Are you fucking kidding me? No internet connection in the middle of the kickoff of the show? Are you fucking serious right now? Internet company is going to go to shit after I get done with this show. I can't believe it. Let's roll. I cannot believe that just happened, but let's go here. We're back and we're ready to rock. So I cannot believe that just went down. Look, hey, calm, cool, and collective. No panic here. It was just a matter of getting pissed. I'm still pissed here, but let's go. Let's not let that affect it. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Holy cow, I can't believe it is windy. Yeah, there's wind. There is wind flying around out there. I can't believe that just happened. I looked over and I see the orange light on the router. I'm like, really? This is what's going on right now. That's because they want to keep us from that cash. So let's not let that happen. Let's not have any further ado here. And let's recognize what's going on here. So I appreciate all you guys in here. Is it going to be one of those shows? Do we have to move that quickly? Let's do that indeed here. Appreciate you guys rolling. I see Brian Watson in the chat. I see the Futon Bet says Arizona State plus 12, my guy. And he says sprinkle a little Luka triple-double out there. My homie Wine Time Sports. There's Justin in the chat. Likes that Texas A&M minus 4.5 is his stacks play of the day. And there's Loopy you too. I was in March 5th, last call upcoming. They ordered it strange. Man, YouTube has to step up. Yeah, man, this was some difficult internet here today. Juggler23 says Nuggets with double revenge tonight against the Kings. Nuggets minus 7. Subhuman Gaucho says, let's go, Poppers. Nice night in the ice last night. Decent day on the pitch. Ready to get after the hardwood slate there. And there's our guy, Jay Smooth, baby. Keep him smooth. Got to keep him clean. It's our guy, Jay Smooth. The smooth balls play of the day is Oklahoma State. Minus 2. Talk sports with JT's in the house. Appreciate seeing you. Brian Watson likes that Oklahoma State spot. And Subhuman Gotcha says, think I like some stuff in Edmonton. Looking forward to Mike's thoughts about the New York game. There's Ron Gray. Fade this guy if you want to make money. Fuck you, Ron Gray. How about that? Get yourself green before you talk shit like that. I'm all fired up, my guy. You're in the wrong place to be shit talking right now. My internet just went down, Ron Gray. Guess who's going to get the victim of that one? You, my guy. Fade my ass. Go ahead. Do it, my guy. Bo Jackson says, salute, Pip. Dana Delp in the house says, sup, guys. Illinois first half in full game. Evansville plus 10.5. And let's just put this up here. Let's put this up there so I have a nice little reminder who to come back and say, fuck off to. And it's our guy, Ron Gray. 2-3 in the MLB today for our guy, Jay Peasy. I can't help taking advantage of this batting practice first 2 weeks of spring training. There's Dan Kelly with the Jarrett Allen. Says he's averaged 6.5 rebounds a game in his 6 games with no rest this season. RVD 420 says, what's up, Mike M? Any soccer looks out there? I'm not entirely sure I've got any soccer looks here. I'm hoping to get through this without any more internet challenges, my guy, RVD 420. Orange Juice Octopus, though. He's in the house. Bo Jackson's here. Philly Eagle Flyer. Silent Rob. Dan Kelly says froze. Yeah, now I'm caught up to you guys with the froze concept there. Joseph Joe says Wright State minus 5.5 question mark. Yeah, froze. The laptop didn't break. Technical difficulties. Yep. Ian Shaver says Mike Pick's so cold. He froze these nuts. Let's go. Let's get rolling, guys. Let's jump into this card here. Let's do the admirable thing here, the accountable thing here, the thing we do every single day because transparency is the most important, especially when you get a pile of shit like Ron Gray in here who's not even green to come in there and start talking about fading. And it's all about being transparent yesterday. Look, it was a 6-4 day. It was positive units. That means that my guy, Ron Gray, had a negative day and probably a 4-6 day, which means he was negative units out there. So let's roll here. We have this started right off in the NHL. We got some plus money with that Philadelphia first period under 1.5 was a nice plus 110 spot there. Hey, we talked about 1-0. Who knew it was going to be the Flyers that ended up going up 1-0 in that spot? Detroit over 6. Should have gone with the 6.5. That was a plus money spot as well, but easy to say after the fact. It was a blowout to the over in that spot. Carolina -1 was a push. We did lose that San Jose Sharks game. That was a nice little try to swing for the fences with the plus 220. But hey, all in all, a 2-1 day in the NHL was profitable day in the NHL. Then we moved on to college basketball. I wish I could say the same there. That Indiana plus 4.5 got the job done. No sweat there for that plus 4.5 with Indiana. Outright winners. SIU Edwardsville choked, and so did Texas Tech minus 3.5. Then we came through and we cooked up that NBA. We went 3-1 in the NBA, Ron Gray. 3-1 in the NBA. It's not even my thing, Ron Gray, but we did go 3-1. We got Dallas +4. We got that Golden State -10. We got the San Antonio game as an over 225.5 for a loss. That was the loss in the NBA. And then Detroit +11. Gave it out over there on Jimmy the Bag Show, a +475, Ron Gray. 475 +475, Ron Gray. Where else are you going to hear +475s, Ron Gray? Get the fuck out of here. Go get yourself green. Let's go into the NHL. I can't wait to fire it off here. Fire it up. God damn it. This internet got me going. And then, of course, we're going to compound things with dirtbags that aren't even green in the chat. Let's roll. Let's get the trolls what they want here. Let's give them some action. And it's going to be a great night tonight with the NHL. We only have 2 games. Only 2 games. So we're going to get into this thing. We got to reset ourselves here. Got to get it going again. Got to stay. Let's not lose our composure between the internet and the trolls. But let's talk about this Columbus and this New York Rangers game here. It's going to be the first game on the NHL card tonight. Again, it's a 2-banger for the NHL. And we're double dipping. And we're dog hunting in this spot here. We've got Columbus starting Merzlikins in goal. We've got Shesterkin going in goal for the New York Rangers. And tale of 2 halves for these guys. Merzlikins 11, 12, and 7. Shesterkin 25, 12, and 1. Merzlikins 3.29 goals against average, 90.2%. Borderline serviceable. And then Shesterkin, look, struggled to start the season off, but has come on his own after the All-Star break. We'll get to that in just a second here. This is a rematch spot. We had the New York Rangers pick up a loss. Merzlikins gets 38 saves on 40 shots against that New York Rangers team, and they picked up a 4-2 win. So interesting spot there. You look at Merzlikins, though, he has been playing better than his numbers would suggest. He's allowed 3 or less goals in 4 of 5 starts. And on the other side of the ice here, we've got Shesterkin. Shesterkin took a sit there. He took the pine on that game against Columbus here, and that got him a little bit of rest, a little bit of energy saved back up to go back in this rematch spot. Since the All-Star break, though, Shesterkin has been red hot here. 2 or less goals in 4 of 6 games. That gives a 6-0 run under his belt in those 6 games and a 95.1% save percentage out there. It's phenomenal right now. We've got a great spot right now. We've got the home favorite versus a team that's on a road trip who lost the last game. It's a 19-3 spot for these New York Rangers. We've got this situation where the next game up is Toronto. If you're home in a favorite spot and you're going on the road to Toronto next, you're 27-2 in those positions as well. And I love this fact that there's going to be potentially a lower scoring opportunity in this game here. We just talked about Merzlikins and his 3 or fewer goals. We've got Shesterkin with 2 or fewer goals here. I suspect this is a Rangers comeback to win. Now, this isn't the same situation that we've had before with the revenge spots, right? The road revenge to home revenge or home revenge to road revenge. This is a little flip-flop in those spots. But the New York Rangers and the under 6.5 is a +165 spot. That's how we're going to kick this thing off. And I wouldn't be mad at anybody that wanted to try to jump into a same game parlay action here. The Panarin goal spot here, former Columbus Blue Jacket. I'm not sure how much he cares that he's no longer in Columbus, though. That's not really a hockey town. That's not really a city anybody aspires to be drafted to or play for. Probably happy to be out of there, but it is his former team nonetheless. If you love those angles, then Panarin to score a goal is absolutely on the track there. So I appreciate you guys in the chat. That's funny. Yeah. You've made it when you get your trolls less, man. I appreciate that, man. No, it's all good. I care less. We all know the deal here. It's on the regular. Let's go into game number 2, though. We've got the second game in the NHL. We're going to go through the NBA college basketball quick, and then we'll bring our guy LJ from H-Town into this thing here. St. Louis and this Edmonton game. I know a couple of you guys have asked about it here, and yeah, there's some interesting numbers as we look across this thing. You look at this St. Louis side of things. They've got Jordan Binnington going in goal at 20, 16, and 2. Then they've got Skinner on the other side at 26, 13, and 2. And, both these goalies are kind of right in that middle of the pack situation here. Binnington, 2.93 goals against average, 90.9% save percentage. Skinner, 2.7 goals against average, 90.3% save percentage. Binnington, this is the second leg of the back-to-back for the Blues. We see that situation as it plays out here. But they rested Binnington last night. So this is Binnington's, kind of first game back after getting shelled. He let up 4 goals on 14 shots. That was an Edmonton victory. A situation where they lost and he led a 71.4% save percentage. However, in the last time they did play Edmonton, it was a 6-3 win. He saved 35 of 38 shots in that game out there. We've got Skinner. He's going for his 3rd start in a row. So I expect this game to kind of play out, pretty simply like this. We've got a road over spot for the St. Louis Blues. When the Blues are on the road, they're scoring. The games are going over. It's 36-26 to the over. We've also got a little snap the losing streak situation. Now we know Skinner was just able to snap a 3-game losing streak for the Edmonton Oilers before, taking his last game out there. So they were losing. They found a way to kind of get back to that W. And, they had that 16-game stretch going into the All-Star break. No way was that going to be sustainable. That team's just not entirely that good. But on the flip side of things, we've got teams with a losing streak at 2, less than 3 goals their last game as a dog, 8-2 in the last 10. It's won 5 in a row as well. I started this one off talking about how these goaltenders right now are pegged right about identical in terms of their abilities and their capabilities here. We've already seen St. Louis has shown that they can beat this team and that they're not scared. And I think this is a great opportunity to take a shot with this plus money. Plus 240. We've got that 5 in a row trend, 8-2 in its last 10. And this is a spot where I want to be involved. Now, yeah, I get it. Anybody that wants to look at the Edmonton Oilers, but you know what the perpetual problem here with the Oilers is? You're laying lines, you're laying odds and juice. You're minus 115s or minus 120s to get to those 1.5s. And I think from this perspective, you look at these Oilers and they've got Seattle and then Pittsburgh. It's kind of a little travel spot for them to get out of Dodge here. I think they could easily look past this St. Louis team. I get that they lost to them 6-3, but that was 6-7 games ago. So I think time is healed. They've moved on, and I love this opportunity for plus 240. 2 dog spots here in the NHL, both strong angles that support them. We hit one, we're profitable. We get them both. We're going to go up 4 units on 2 units of play. So that's where we want to be tonight. I expect that we do get them both, and live opportunities galore from there. So let's roll on to this next game here and move into college basketball. We've got ourselves a little college basketball slate to get this night rolling. And just 2 games here at this point. I'm going to be honest, full disclosure. I found this, not that I would lie. I hate when people say that. I got to be honest. Well, what are you going to lie to me? I would not. And in this case here, just full disclosure, I found these college and NBA courts pretty hard to navigate tonight. The cash flow is tight. I think these lines are pretty sharp. I had to rely on the old angles there that have been working for us on the regular. And this first game that I'm opening up with is this Ark State Coastal Carolina game. You guys know I love to get involved with these mid-majors. And this Ark State one is a little unique because this has been close to the UNC A&T spot for us here. This line opens up at +8 for the home dog Coastal Carolina. It's moved to 9.5. 76% of the bets, 98% of the cash. It's moved 1.5 towards the Ark State direction. Certainly a big red flag. Then we look at this total, and this line's starting to drop now. 157.5. So I'm down to 157s, and we're starting to see some 156.5s. 87% of the bets, 99% of the cash on the under. I don't like that. I don't like the 99%. But I do like that this line is favoring the favorite in the spot, favoring the favorite. 15-14 Arkansas State Red Wolves, the 8-19 home dog Coastal Carolina team. And we've got Coastal Carolina off of 2 road games and back-to-back unders. They've gone under in their last 3 games. Then we look at this Ark State team here. And this is kind of where I'm going with this buy low spot. They played South Alabama 95-78. They dismantled South Alabama. That game sailed over the total. But that was a home game. So was the game prior to that. The 2 games before that were road games. They got South Alabama again 76-73. That game went under 155. They had Troy on the road 82-71. That game went under 153.5. Now you look at this one, and at the end of the day here, Arkansas State, almost the number 1 road under team in college basketball. If you don't know, now you know. 11 of 12 road games against the conference have generated less than 156 points a game in that spot here. And if you go back further, you extrapolate this back to 2020, 4 years of data. We've got this Arkansas State team on the road at a 36-16 under. The average number they're pulling up is 148. So we've got ourselves 9 points in our back pocket on this side of things for this road Arkansas State team. I expect them to get the job done, but I furthermore like this Ark State on the under. It's their defense that's found a way to travel time in and time out when it comes to these road games, and that's how we're going to lock it down. So let's keep it rolling. JPZ says, I like the Rangers, though. Go get him, JPZ. Let's go, my guy. Rocco says, Rangers need this game. The schedule gets super tough after this next week. They'll have rest after the game and good rest after next, but after the schedule will be hell. They need these 2 points. A lot of momentum for these guys to get the job done. Ian Shaver says, that Pub Sports Radio graphics game sharp. Love the work on the backside. That's our guy, T. Rocking them 1s and 2s, getting it tight and right for all of us out there. And Loopy U2 says, I got a few money line CBB picks tonight. Loopy, toss them in the chat for us, man. Let's recognize what you're doing out there. Robert Martin says, I would really dislike to have that last name Skinner, especially going into jail. Just saying. Yeah, that seems like that might be a tough one. Let's roll on here. Let's go. We've got ourselves one more college basketball game. It's a big one. It's a big game tonight. I know a lot of you guys are going to be talking about this one here. We've heard some looks throughout the day on this game, and I've got to go back and kind of validate some of this spot. Now, I mentioned to you earlier, I think these lines are super tight. I think this is another example. We were able to scrub away and find what I think is 9 points of value on the margin in that Ark State under game. I think we're in a similar spot here, albeit this number does continue to drop. 64% of the bets and 76% of the cash on Bama. Roll Tide. Lines move from -6.5 to -4.5. So kind of a little bit of a concern there. The total's dropping here. We have 59% of the bets and 61% of the cash on the under, and it's dropped a point. So we have 167.5 to 166.5. Kind of had to look into the well on this one here. We're seeing that this under looks like it's getting that cash, and it's getting probably more of the tickets than the side is, because the side has dropped now 2 points to 4.5. But this one was kind of a straightforward spot here. What happened this last game as we analyzed this Alabama team, and what's kind of been happening with this Alabama team is their defense kind of suspect, right? They let up 117 points to Kentucky, a 117-95 game. They let up 93 points to Florida, 98-93. Texas A&M, they did win 175. LSU, they won 109 to 92. And then Auburn lost in that game, 81-99. So there's definitely a little bit of a red flag on this Bama defense here, but we do have ourselves a little number here. Road favorites coming off a regulation game where they allowed more than 110 points. Remember that Bama game, we saw some OT in that spot, right? That Kentucky game? Or no, I'm sorry, that was the Florida game I'm thinking of here. But a regulation spot where they allowed more than 110 points, are 6-1 against the spread in those spots here. And the margin again in this one, they're winning these games by 11 points when they go out there and they allow a massive scoring lack of defensive effort. So lack of defense, we've seen that be consistent across the board. They're that road favorite situation against this Mississippi team, who, by the way, has been playing admirably here. They are also 19-8, but I just don't think all 19-8s are created equal. I love this one. Again, I figure this is a double-digit win spot for Alabama. The fact that the numbers come down to 4.5 means they don't need to quite get to that double-digit spot to get the job done. But we do have this Ole Miss team, despite being 19-8. Look at their form. You got to look at this recent form this time of year with these college basketball teams. 1-4 in their last 5. They lost to South Carolina 72-59. They lost to Mississippi State 83-71. They did beat Mizzou 79-76, but they were laying 11.5 points in that game, and they lost to Kentucky 75-63. As 8.5 point, dogs in that spot there. Did not get the job done either. Prior to that, though, the revenge spot there, the previous matchup against South Carolina, they lost 68-65. So two teams heading in different directions. I expect Bama to make a run here in the SEC, maybe even be a fighting contender here to be in the SEC finals. Certainly looking to get themselves a college tournament bid there, the NCAA tournament. And I'm going to jump in and take advantage here. -4.5 now. That's the best number we have on the card. And I think that's a spot for us to take a good shot with here. Again, 6-1 against the spread. The number keeps coming down. I thought it was a sharp number to begin with, and I think we'll just roll with this game and move on to the NBA. So there you go. We got ourselves 2 college basketball games. We got ourselves 2 big dogs in the NHL to go after here. It's time to move into the association, and it's Wednesday. That means we get our guy here. It's our resident expert here on Last Call for Wednesdays. He's down there in Houston where He's part of the finest gang that does it there. It's LJ from H-Town. LJ, my guy, LJ Sports Media. What's up, LJ? How are you?
What's going on, Money Making Mike? How we doing this Wednesday evening?
We're doing, man. I'm glad the internet kicked back on. I mean, it was not what you want to see, right? All of a sudden, you're talking. I'm just they're just pulling the cord and getting me spun up, and then all of a sudden it goes dark. So, how about you, my guy? How you been?
Hey, I've been good, man. Just working, capping, enjoying this NBA. We're going after the All-Star break. So I got a couple spots today. Let's see if we can get some money for the chat.
Well, I love capping with you. You love the angles and the trends. I love the way you do. We come in with different angles and trends, which gets me excited. You love hammering away on the props. I love hammering away on the props. And I'm excited to see what kind of work you have for us in the NBA. So we've got ourselves, I believe it's a 6-game card, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go down the line. We'll talk about each of them. I've got a couple leans here, not necessarily official plays on a few of these games, but I did play several of them. And frankly, LJ, I committed. I said, I'm going to take a step back to this NBA. I was so eager to lean on trends and stop doing, everything that kind of checks all the boxes for me. But per our guy, Jimmy the Bag, we got to strip it back. We got to keep it simple. We got to make sure all the boxes check before we go out there and try to get that cash. And, thankfully, I've taken that step back. We've had the opportunity to do so, and the NBA has been paying dividends now. So I'm excited to be back from the All-Star break and kind of some normalcy now. We've got nothing left but full-fledged basketball in the NBA until they get to the playoffs. Let's dig deep here. Let's start with this Pelicans Pacers game. This line opened at -3.5. It's sitting at 7s now. Talk about screaming here, up to 7. 74% of the bets, 86% of the cash. The total's dropping. And here's the reverse line movement spot here. We've got 53% of the bets on the over. We got 66% of the cash. Yet the line has dropped 5 points to 237.5. LJ, when we look at these two teams, of course, we know this is the second leg of a back-to-back for the Pelicans. They went out there and they handled the New York Knicks on the road 115-92. They were laying 6.5. They got the job done. They've got 3 straight unders as well. But here we go against this Pacers team who is coming off a loss against Toronto and probably trying to be a little angry and fired up. This is a question, though, about the who's who with the injury lineup here. We see McCollum's questionable, Ingram's questionable, Zion's questionable, Trey Murphy's questionable, Jose Alvarado's going to be out, Dyson Daniels is out, and then on the Pacers side of things, Aaron Naismith out, Doug McDermott out. How are we getting paid in this game, my guy? What do you think as far as looks, sides, totals, props? What do you got for us?
Yeah, Mike, I think this is a spot play for the Pacers. Not to mention the Pelicans are wounded, and I believe a couple of those guys are going to sit because simply for the fact this is their 5th game in 7 nights, and it's on a back-to-back. I mean, one of the worst spots in the NBA that you can be in, And as far as the Pacers, this is their 4th straight road game. They've had 4 games in 6 nights as well, but they've been home. They didn't have to travel, and they had a day off. So I pointed all the numbers to the Pacers. I took the 5.5. I see it's jumped up, but I probably still would endorse it as well, simply because the Pelicans, I just think they're going to run out of gas. They had to fly out of New York last night. Now they're coming to face a Pacers team, which is number 1 in pace of the NBA, number 1 in scoring, 124 points a game. Pelicans already are 0-1 against the spread on a back-to-back coming out of the All-Star break already. So I just think it's too many miles, too many games for them to try to keep up with the Pacers tonight. And for the simple fact that this is a national televised game, Pacers don't get a lot of those games. So I believe they want to show out in front of the national TV. And for the simple fact that I looked up road dogs off a win with travel on a back-to-back versus a home team off a home loss with rest, hitting 62% last 4 years. So
nice.
I'm on the Pacers, man, -5.5. But like I mentioned, it's went up, and I still endorse it for the most part. I believe the Pacers cover the spread.
I think, let me just check something out here. This line's down to 4.
Wow.
This line's moved down to 4 now. So I don't know who's not playing for the Pacers, but yeah, I was in at 5.5. I saw it go up to 7.5, and that kind of took me off that game. But, now that we're seeing this thing kind of come back, the question is who's not playing. I see Loopy says CJ Ingram should play or Zion and CJ. I agree with that, but I'm going to take the 4. I'm going to jump in on this now. This is going to be a play. I know it's kind of moved against that spot that we're looking for. I suspect it's injuries. Let me just refresh here as well, because this is kind of a big move for this 7
Yeah, I'm
o'clock
trying to
game.
check too to see who it is.
Everybody's playing for the Pelicans is what happened here. Trey Murphy's questionable. Jose Alvarado's out. Dyson Daniels is out. That entire injury report of questionable guys is now off the board. Everybody's
Yeah, they're
playing.
all going to play. Yep, they're all in.
They're all rolling in this game. Well, that just made this one a lot of fun. Here we go, though. I'm with you, though, on the side here with the Pelicans. I didn't care if these guys were playing or not. I love your rest angle there. I've got the teams with more rest off a home loss as a favorite are 15-0 against the spread.
Yep.
They're covering the spread by 14 points a game. Then you got New Orleans as a road dog after a road win are in an 0-10 spot. And the Pacers 8-0 with rest after a home game versus a better team. So all these kind of intersecting zeros to me say I'm jumping in here. The fact that it's moved, I just have to selfishly put this in while we tee up this next game. So let's do just that. But it looks like, again, everybody's playing. Loopy says, I doubt all three will play, but I think there's a better value with New Orleans. I'm pretty sure they're all playing. Pretty sure they all just decided at the same time they're playing. They're all off the injury report, and it looks like they are a go. So I like it. I think this is a great Pacer spot. You know, the 7.5 kind of concerned me a little bit. But the fact that we're down to this number now, I mean, you're going to bring all those guys in and it's only 3.5 points. I think that's just a squirrely spot to begin with. So we're going to lay that 4. We'll open our Basketball Association card up there and we'll shout out our guy ZC33, member for 5 months now, ZC33. We see you, my guy, and we appreciate you coming in here. Thank you for trusting in what we're doing here at Pub Sports Radio, my homie. Let's go. That's a 7:30 Eastern start, LJ. We have another 7:30 Eastern start north of the border up there in the 6. We got Dallas opened up as a 3.5-point road favorite. Has dropped to 3 in some books here. But again, kind of a stalled line or a reverse line situation. 56% of the bet, 76% of the cash on the Mavericks. And yet this number is really not doing anything that would show concern about that cash. The totals dropped again, 242.5 dropped to 237.5. We have 62% of the bets and 71% of the cash, LJ, on the under. There they are showing concern similar to that last game here. But we know the Raptors have kind of turned a corner. Back-to-back road wins against the Pacers and the and Atlanta. They did win at home against Brooklyn before they went on that road stand. And we have Dallas. Dallas, big spot. You know, they just missed that game against Cleveland, 121-119, but they were getting 4, and they covered that spread prior to that. Indianapolis, they did lose 133-111. What are they going to do north of the border, LJ? Take it away.
Yeah, I think Dallas covers. They're coming off that heartbreaking loss last night. They should have won that game. So I think that's going to be seething in their mind for the most part. And they're on the back-to-back as well, but you know, they are 11-3 against the spread as a road favorite. So they're favored for a reason. Mind you, Toronto, like you mentioned, they've been playing well. They are 3-0 against the spread last 3 games coming out of All-Star break. And they've also hit their team total in those 3 games as well, averaging 124 points. But I believe the fact that they're playing Dallas, which is more of a slow-paced team, they like to slow the pace down. And Toronto likes to get fast break and get transition points. So I believe Dallas will limit them in those transition. Plus, you know, Dallas, if they rebound and limit Toronto with the second chance points, I think they can keep Toronto under their total for the most part. And, you know, we're always looking at Scotty Barnes for his Toronto, but he has to guard Luka tonight. So I think he's going to take a lot of the offensive production away. He's going to try to defend Luka. You know, that's going to take a lot of energy, you know, from him trying to score for the most part and being productive. But I just came to Dallas, man. I couldn't ignore that they're 11-3 as a road favorite. And also they've only lost 3 in a row one time this year. And that was, again, that third game was, remember, in Houston when every starter was out of the lineup. So you kind of throw that away and just say they haven't lost 3 games in a row, in my opinion, with Luka and Kyrie in the lineup. So as long as they're in the lineup, and like I mentioned, the way they lost last night, I know they want to end that memory very, very quick. So I believe that Dallas will cover the spread, the 3.5. And I'm also going to take a couple props because I do believe Dallas will win the game. So I'm going to take Luka, 30-plus points, and Dallas to win, plus 121. And I'm going to take Kyrie Irving, 20-plus points, and Dallas to win at minus 120. Just because they've hit these numbers all 3 games. coming out of All-Star break. So Kyrie get you 20, Luka could get you 30, and they win. I believe that's going to be very profitable going for the rest of this season. So those are my two props, and I'm on Dallas with the spread -3.5.
Oh man, I listen. I'll paint the story on both sides of this one here. To your point with Dallas, you got the road favorites facing a team they lost to the last meeting as a favorite shorter than -3, are 31-1 against the spread if the line's between 223 and 237. So 31-1 spot, covering the spread by 8 points. So on the surface, I don't disagree. I think that's certainly, when I first passed this thing, I thought, okay, kind of makes sense to me. But then I look back at this All-Star break trend here, and I saw that if 4 games back was before the All-Star game, 3 games back is after the All-Star game. Both teams are on the same spot here with a little streak on one side or the other. It's 36-19. So it just has to do with how much momentum they've been able to generate since the All-Star break. And that momentum kind of drew me back to what was happening with this Raptors team here. And, before the trade deadline, we were all about fading this, Scotty Barnes talk there. We talked about it being an auto fade. His 7.5s on the rebounds, LJ. The guy was it was 3s and 4s. You just didn't know what his role was on the team. But, man, since that trade deadline and everything else, Scotty Barnes has been, you just mentioned him on the hop here. Once he got double-double in his last 4 games out there, I mean, it's amazing what this guy's doing. Now, I love that angle that he's got Luka. That's going to be that's a big dude to be in front of, and that's going to be a big test for him. So, do I like his over rebounds at -145? Not really. If I was going to play anything, the double-double went from a +105. It's now -110s and 115s for Scotty Barnes. But I almost would kind of lean towards this triple-double there. Like, if you're going to take a shot at it, it's priced around +800-900 for Scotty Barnes there. Let me just double-check what the current number looks like here. I'm on the Toronto side of things. I did take the 3.5. Okay. Ultimately, for me, the reverse line movement was enough for me to say, okay, let's get involved with it. And I see the Scotty Barnes triple doubles +700 now. I mean, this thing's just been taking some steam. So, before if you're looking at one of those 3, you're looking at the rebounds, the double-double, or the triple-double. If you're going to play the triple-double, I would play one of the other spots out there. But the last time you did this here, where you did the player with the points and then you did the team, I think you swept the board on him. So makes me nervous to hear that. And then Marcus McCarthy says, Luka birthday today. Give me Dallas. Yeah, they're probably not apt to sit there and put him on the bench here with his birthday. It's probably that 70-point go-off game. We'll see if it happens to be enough, but I got 3.5. It's -108 for the 3.5 as well. So a little low juice spot, but love those prop plays you're on. Let's talk about this 8:00 game. We've got the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. And again, I mentioned this at the start of the show. These lines aren't showing us much of anything here. It opened at 12.5. There are some 12s, 65% of the bets, 63% of the cash on the Grizzlies. The totals dropped, though, 11 points from 220.5 to 209.5. We don't have the actual cash. We only have tickets on the total, but it does have 84% of the tickets on the total. And then I guess the big challenge here is what's going on in the world of injuries for these two teams here. We still have Rudy Gobert as questionable. We have Anthony Edwards as questionable. We know Ant sat out yesterday, and that was definitely the challenge that them Timberwolves faced out there. Got the job done against the Spurs, but it wasn't pretty. They didn't cover. It was a 9-point win on a 13-point spread. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, 0-2 in their last 2, but 4-1 in their last 5 against the spread, LJ. Did you have any looks in this game?
No, Mike, I passed this one, man. Both teams are under teams for the most part, but that number is just too low. I mean, the Memphis team total, I think it's like 98 or something like that. So they're saying they not only get 100 points. So I stayed away from it. I was trying to find something just because it's a short card, but I just ended up passing. I just figured I'll just find something somewhere else and just forget this one.
Dude, I'm with you entirely. I don't even have I have down the game written down, and I got the spread of the percentages of the cash. I got nothing else underneath it because I want nothing to do with this game. I think it's too many points on Memphis. I think the total's now too low. It's probably low for a reason, like you're talking about that team total spot there. Bo Jackson says Coach Lou 20-8 at home against the Pacific Division. So there is that little nugget working in their favor. Just didn't see enough to want to get involved in that game whatsoever. So anyhow, let's go on past that one, though. As they say, we will back with that game. We do have another 8 o'clock game here, one that was nice and kind to me last night. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers traveling into Chicago to face them Bulls here. This line opened at -4. It's up to 6s now, +6 on the Bulls side of things. 58% of the bets, 71% of the cash on the Bulls. The total's kind of getting a lot of this love here. It started at 220. It's down to 217s and even 216.5s. But interesting enough, despite 69% of the bets being on the under, 79% of the cash is on the over. And probably the story of the day is what happened here. Them Pistons, they were Pistons. They became Pistons last night. They came out there and reversed this number. They were getting 10. They won by 10 against them Bulls, who are now 1-3 in their last 4 games here, 2-2 against the spread. The Cavs on the other side of things should have Donovan Mitchell back tonight, but have not been finding victory row here. LJ, take it away for us.
Yeah, I have a heavy lean to the under, simply for the fact both these teams are on a back-to-back, and the Bulls are, it's a triple revenge spot. You know what I'm saying? Cavs on them. So I didn't come to a side, but all my numbers are pointing to an under. Cavs 9-2 to the under, last 11 on the road. The Bulls are 7-4 to the under in division games. Road favorite Cleveland 11-4 to the under, 8-4 to the under in division games. So all the numbers are pointing to the unders, but I trust the Bulls more on the road as a dog than at home. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't come to it. Now, they did shoot horribly last game. I think they shoot like 2 or something from the three-point line, like 2 or 29. They shot horrible, and that's why Detroit was able to outright win that game for the most part. So they maybe want to get a bounce back, simply how bad they lost. But their team total, they are 8-2 to their team total last 10, 12-4 to their team total in the last 16. So if you could just trust the points of the Bulls just to put the points up, that's probably a better play than trying to pick a side on both these teams going on a back-to-back. So you never know who's going to get tired. If it'll be a blowout, if it's any team cares in the second half, you just don't know. And like I said, the Cavs have beaten this team, already 3 times this year. So they might not even care and just throw the game away. So heavy lean to the under. It opened at 220, like you said. And the fact that it dropped is the reason why I didn't make the bet on it. So, but that's all I have in this game.
So nothing official is all good, my guy. I see Cleveland's 10-0 to the under as a 2-point favorite or more when they're playing on no rest. I always love to embrace those kind of trends because you think, the mindset tells you with no rest, it's going to go over in that second half because there's no defense. But when you see a team kind of buck those trends and find a way to capitalize on that avenue, then I love to take notice of it. But the spot that I had to jump into here, this one speaks specifically to these two teams. Home teams facing a team off a home game are 27-2-1 if the line's between a +7 and a -7. So as long as it's not egregious as far as one way or the other, if both teams have no rest. So non-rested situation, the team that's not traveling has the edge. It kind of makes sense. They're not traveling. Why wouldn't they? Then you couple that or compound that where you have the Bulls as a home dog off a home favorite loss are 6-0 against the spread. They're winning those games outright. They're covering the number by 13.5. They're winning by average of around 10 points. So the average line they're seeing in that spot is about a 3. This one's a little more bloated on that side of things. So I think you talk about that bounce back spot for this Bulls team. That was my avenue for jumping in here. The Bulls in that position speaks 2 things. 1, with the no rest situation, the non-travel, and then 2, trying to shake that bad shooting performance out of their mouths and move forward. So I did jump on the Bulls here. I got the Bulls. I got them at that +6 spot. And look, I'm seeing it start to come back a little bit now. We got 5.5, so we got 5. So action coming in here and supporting, potentially considering that Bulls is the look here. I know there's some guys on the other side. Shout out our guy, Troy Torrance. Went to that Bulls game last night and still had to be a lot of fun in being in the arena, courtside, in the atmosphere, doing that thing. But I'm going to go to the Bulls tonight here. I faded them last night. I'm rolling with them tonight, LJ.
Yep.
Let's roll on to the 9 o'clock game here. We've got the Sacramento Kings, the Denver Nuggets. The line opened at 6.5. It's moved to 7.5. We have 69% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the Denver Nuggets. So we kind of checked the box for correlated movement there. The total, though, 54% of the bets, only 29% of the cash on the over. It has moved a 0.5 point. So we do have a 231 that's out there now, LJ. And yeah, look, Light the Beam's been doing some things, man. They're a fun team to kind of get behind and watch what's going on. Now, they did lose to that Miami game there at home, 121-110, but they beat the Clippers in LA before that. They took down the Spurs. Tight game, didn't cover the spread. And they previously, where I was getting to this one here, is they previously went into Denver, where we know the Nuggets have been incredible at covering spreads and winning games. They won as a 5.5-point dog outright, 102-98 on February 14th, a.k.a. Valentine's Day. The Nuggets, though, since that game, have done nothing but win. They beat up on the Washington Wizards, 130-110. They took down Portland, 127-112. And they beat up Golden State on the road, 119-103. They covered the spread each of those 3 times. I guess the question I have for you, LJ, was that Kings game a wake-up call? Was it an anomaly? Or what do we have going on here with Denver now taking on this Kings spot back at home in a little bit of a rematch revenge situation?
Oh, yeah, it's a triple revenge spot. And this is my biggest bet of the day, Mike. You know what we're doing here. You know me. Denver. First quarter, -2.5. Book it, trilogy play of the day. Denver, 19-8 against the spread in the first quarter at home. But even better, 14-4, Mike, against the spread in the first quarter at home versus the West. It's been a money machine ever since going back to last year. They're 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 on home overall. Mind you, the Kings, 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 first quarter on the road. So I believe this is a perfect smash spot for the Nuggets. I believe they do cover this full game as well. But I'm looking also at their team total. I haven't took it yet, but it's a heavy lean because they're 3-0 to their team total coming out of this All-Star break. And, of course, they're 3-0 against the spread in the last 3 games. So I love the Nuggets tonight, triple revenge spot. They have the rest advantage. And those 3 times that the Kings have beaten Denver this year, Denver was unrested. They had injuries. Murray missed the game. I think Porter missed the game. So they never will full strength playing the Kings until tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm all on the Nuggets. And, of course, we're going to the moneymaker, Jokic, triple-double. I got it at -108 simply because he's had 3 straight triple-doubles coming out of the All-Star break. And I did some more digging last year coming out of the All-Star break. Jokic had 8 triple-doubles, man. So I believe he's going to go on a streak that's going to probably break the record books. He has 9 more home games versus the West this year. So let's get ready to make some money with Jokic at home, ladies and gentlemen. But for us tonight, Nuggets, first quarter, -2.5. Jokic triple-double, -108. Lock it in.
Nice. Well, I see 117s out there, so we'll give you the benefit of the better number for tracking purposes here. But going to Joker with the triple-double, and can't be mad at that play whatsoever. You see on the screen here, I jumped in on this under. A couple things that I was looking at with this under here. The Kings are 41-14 to the under as an underdog versus a team they beat the last time out. So second game up there, they try to close it down. That's almost a 75% ratio. When I look at the trends, LJ, I know everybody does it a little bit differently, but 60% is like the threshold for me. We're all 52%, 54%. That's just not enough to get excited about over the grand scheme of things. It's a coin flip. But we got almost 75% in that spot here. We also have a situation where the home favorites off and under when the total is greater than 222 are 27-46 to the under. And we're seeing that those totals are getting to about 221. So again, we got almost 11 points or so of margin on our side with this total. Not mad at that Denver look whatsoever. I love the triple-double player prop factor in there. But I do think that in this case here, I think Denver wants to go out there and play some defense. You don't want to let Sacramento go out there and start balling out. You got to force them off their marks. You got to force them to get uncomfortable. This is Denver's house, and they can't let them come back in there and do what they did that last time through. Although that last time through was still an under spot as well. So I jumped in. I'm on the under. LJ likes Denver. He likes that first quarter spot, -2.5. And then the Joker triple-double, we got a +117 for him. LJ, let's go to this last NBA game, and we'll put a bow on the show. You guys can get ready to join them boys. Dutch and Dabby, all about the hoops, the live stream rocking here, the newest live stream on Pub Sports Radio on Wednesday nights, breaking down all things college basketball and the NBA. LJ gets in there. We know C-Mac shows up in there. Billy Brish shows up in there. Even yours truly gets involved there to to hear it from Dutch on so in every so often. But it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. I know they got themselves a nice ballot of games here to get into. But before we get there, we have one last game to talk about. It's the Battle of LA, LJ. We got the Lakers. We got the Clippers. We got ourselves reverse line movement as well. Clippers open at -3.5, down to 2.5. 51% of the bets, 83% of the cash on the Clip Show at home here. At home. The total has dropped from 236.5 to 234.5. 58% of the bets and 61% of the cash on the over. And yet we have reverse line movement there as well. Before we even jump in, LJ, tell me what you think about this new logo, this new Clippers outfit here, this new City Connect, I guess. What do they got going on there in the Clippers there? Have you seen the new jerseys yet? What do you think?
I did a little glance at it. I like the arena better than their jerseys, just personally. But, hey, it's a new look. Ballmer's invested in the team. So, hey, they got to have their own identity. It's about time, they get their own building, get their own identity, stop being the Lakers, stepchild, so I like it.
I just thought that was weird that you would have two teams in the same, seem City fine, but I don't know, it just seems you got to change the coloring schemes. It's just a lot of work to go into it. And, I know they get it done for the NFL, but the NFL is a little different because you typically don't have a team playing at 1:00 and then 4:00,
Exactly.
I think it's a unique situation. So it's a lot of fun to see that happening here. And the Clippers, since James Harden's come to town, it's hard to believe, but the impact of James Harden has been positive on this team, unlike his last couple of stops out there. So, we did look at these numbers here. We see reverse line movement on both sides. Do you have any kind of takes or plays, anything you're looking for to try to get paid in this Clippers game here to close off the night?
Yeah, I'm going to take LeBron, but it just depends on if LeBron plays. I didn't come to a side just because I just think there's going to be a lot of emotion. We just talked about this is their last game in this building against these two teams. So I think this game is going to be very, very high emotions. The Lakers, they've won 7 out of the last 10. They're 10-3 at home in their last 13 straight up. So they've been playing well at Crypto Arena. They are 6-4 against the spread at home in their last 10 as well. But the Clippers, they're 20-6 straight up in their last 26 games, man. But Paul George is out. I believe that's going to be a key matchup for us, him being out, because that's taking away some points and rebounding as well, possessions. But I just think if LeBron plays, I think he's going to want to win because I just think he gets up for playing the Clippers. So if LeBron plays, this is just continue to see if he plays. I'm going to take his over 1.5 threes. I think it was at -140 last time I saw it. Just because he's hit this 13 out of his last 14 games. He's had at least 2 threes. So I'm going to step on that. And I believe the Lakers win this game. So I'm going to take his 7+ assists, Lakers to win, plus 231. Just because he's had 7+ assists in 6 straight games. So I'm going to keep riding that. He's a great facilitator. And I believe he's going to be up. If he plays, he's going to be up for this game because this is a bitter rivalry for the most part. And like I said, this is the last time the Clippers play this team in this arena. So I believe it's going to be high emotions, but I'm just going to stick with LeBron, get his numbers, and just enjoy the game.
What was the price on that LBJ 7+ assist LA Lakers win? What'd you get on
plus 231.
Nice, man. That's a great find. I like the look. I wanted to go to the Clippers, but I've been trying to I've been trying to keep it clean there. I said this at the onset of the NBA segment here. I need all things to kind of check out. And the fact that I've got this reverse movement to me has stopped me in my tracks here. I think you're right. If LBJ comes in, probably going to want to win this thing. Albeit though, LBJ, when it comes to big moments, kind of rolls over when it comes to these kind of historical marker moments here, right? Like we saw the Kobe statue night there, and it just didn't seem to matter to him. So I don't know. I did see the Clippers 10-0 against the spread and overall when they've attempted less than 28 3-pointers the last game and allowed less than 128 points. They did have just 27 threes that last game. So I just don't know how that correlates to this one here. There's just a lot of unknowns with what's going on from the lineup perspective. And as I look down at the injury report here, just a recent last glance here as we close this thing out. The Paul George is out, as you mentioned. Zubac's questionable. It's an illness questionable too. So that kind of wonders if that's going to be floating around the locker room. On the Lakers side of things, we've got Christian Wood out with the knee injury still. We've got LBJ questionable with the ankle. Jared Vanderbilt out, foot injury, and Gabe Vincent out as well. So LBJ is the guy. It seems like AD is going to get in there and make it happen. And if it's just AD, I don't know that's enough for them boys to get it done. But if LBJ comes in there as well, then I kind of got to roll with you. I like that assist look with the 7+ and the Lakers, LJ. But that does it for us tonight, my guy. We are all up and in it tonight. We've got the NHL. We've got ourselves some college basketball, and then our guy LJ from H-Town coming in there, giving us them looks in the NBA. Small card, full of value, LJ. We appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us. Tell them what's kicking, what you got going on, where they can find you. And I know you got another show coming up here later this week, I believe, with Jimmy the Bag. What's the word in LJ Sports Media, man? What's happening?
Well, tonight I'll be on All About the Hoops with Dutch and Cat, looking at some NBA, looking at some college, March Madness is coming up. So, I'm trying to find some couple of college teams I can, try to invest in, for as the tournament approaching. But, find me on here, Pub Sports Radio, of course. Anytime we got live streams and NBA popping off, you always can find me, man. So I love being part of the family. I love cashing with you, and like I said, I think we can find a little same game parlay tonight with the Kings and Denver game tonight. So we'll be on live tonight. Let's see if we can find some money in that game, same game parlay. So I will be up watching. So, come over and join all the chat, Dan Kelly, everybody in the chat, AOD, all of them, man. Nasty Nate say he got the Denver second quarter. So he's riding with Denver with me too. So yeah, let's make some money tonight, guys, and enjoy this NBA.
Shout out my guy, LJ. We appreciate you. Love you being a part of what we're doing here with Last Call. Thank you for spending your personal time digging into the card, trying to find that cash for us, and then coming out and sharing it, man. We love to see you here and doing your thing. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us tonight. Of course, my guy T on the 1s and 2s, getting it tight and right for everybody, and all you guys in the chat coming in to support us on the regular. On your way out the door, smash that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow here. Appreciate you guys, though. Dan Kelly, the OG in the chat there. Loopy, you too. Nasty Nate, JPZ, Marcus McCarthy. We got our guy Bo Jackson in there rocking with us tonight. AOD giving love to not just me, but to our guy LJ and Subhuman Gaucho. The chillest up in there gave us the same game parlay. He says Luka at least 31 points. Kyrie 4 assists. Scotty Barnes 1 steal out there for a plus 165 spot in that Toronto game. We appreciate you, chillest. Of course, Nasty Nate says 21 more days till you get to Pubblepalooza. Winner's Circle in the house. Big Scott 510, Kelly D. All you guys came out. Juggler 23, ZC 33, Philly Eagle Flyer. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Trisha M. Appreciate you guys rocking and representing Fernando Mendoza as well. Guys, till tomorrow, good luck with your bets. Get that cash. Keep them vibes positive. Go see them boys, Dutch and Dabby, tonight at All About the Hoops. And get that money, baby. We be pumping. Let's go.